Welcome back to another episode of Bulletproof Studios. Jill is not ready for the recording, but we are jumping straight into it. Hi, Jill. How are you?
I'm fine, but my mic wasn't even ready. He didn't even give me any preparation.
Today, we are talking about different types of content that you can create so that you, in one batch recording or one batch setting, you can create a month's worth of content for your business and feel that you're on top of the world. How's that sound?
And talking about being on top of the world, every day above ground is a good day. I'm just reusing that.
You've used that
I know
one.
I'm
You're
reusing it.
4 episodes into the Pitbull quotes and you're reusing
He's
Pitbull
not
quotes.
said a lot.
Oh, why
I
did you
thought
pick
he'd say
Pitbull?
more, but he's not said a lot.
Why don't you? It's lyrics from his song.
Yeah, I know that, but apart from that, there's ones like that are provocative and not really the vibe that I'm going for.
Okay, meet me at my hotel room.
Yeah, like
Meet
that's
me at the hotel room.
yeah, that's not
You
the
can bring it. What is it? You can bring a girlfriend.
yeah,
And
meet me at the
it.
hotel.
That's like he's asking for a threesome.
Is that you just got that?
Yeah, I actually sing songs all the time, and then I'm like, oh, that's kind of mad. You know, there's a meme just now. I was showing Jillian this the other day. It's like kids today are going 6'7", 6'7".
Still
Like
don't get that.
Jill doesn't understand it, which is proving the point that she's entering motherhood and she is now becoming old. To be fair, Jill in the 13 years that I've known her has only started going to YouTube to watch how to do stuff, which baffles me. You do like to this day, you were like, this isn't working. It's like, right, I know you've Googled, but have you YouTubed it? Because YouTube to me is like a go-to solution model. You've
Yeah,
only
YouTube.
started, yeah, but you've only you started utilizing that in the last year. Anyway, so the kids is going 6'7", whereas back in the day, I had 50 Cent's album, Get Rich or Die Trying. I had all the Eminem albums. I had Chris Brown. Chris Brown was 16 at the time, and I was singing all his songs, and then realizing this guy's this guy's been talking about some wild shit.
Was that not a sign back then?
It was a sign, and then he turned out to be a woman beater. You're not a big Chris Brown fan, are you?
No.
No.
I don't think any woman should be a Chris Brown fan. No, I find it wild when he was in what was it? Was it
Glasgow?
in Hampton
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year that so many women
That was
went
this
to
year.
see him? Was that this year?
yeah, yeah.
I find it absolutely wild.
I mean, this is the thing with celebrities. Like celebrities have, or people you put on a pedestal can be really, really good at one thing, but doesn't make them a good person at all. It's like Michael Jackson. Like he's like, oh, he's an icon. He's this, he's that. It's like he held a freaking baby over the balcony and was like, here's my baby to the world, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing, you maniac? And then obviously all the paedophilia accusations.
Yeah, but Chris Brown was not accusations. It's proof. There is.
Oh, I'm not saying
I know,
it
but
justifies it.
I just.
Forever is still a banger.
I would never listen to any Chris Brown songs.
See, it's funny how you say that because even though he beat up Rihanna, you still, when Forever came on like a couple of years ago when we were driving in the car back from Nottingham, I remember us both singing that. So let's see your high moral ground,
Right,
gal.
well, see, since then he's beaten up more women and also
I think he's beat up more women.
yeah, he has, and he's also been accused of rape. So
Was he?
yeah.
Anyway, this isn't the
somehow he's still
podcast
doing
for
it.
this. We are talking about business marketing strategies. You start like I bet you Pitbull is some probably dark stories.
We might do, but I don't know what they are yet. If you want me to go find them out and stop doing Pitbull quotes, I will.
Yeah, I just would like you to be a wee bit more prepared coming into the podcast, please, because using the same quote 4 episodes in is very, very poor.
You've not brought any quotes to the podcast yet.
Social.
Huh?
Social.
What's social?
That's a quote.
That's not a quote. That's
Okay.
just you can't say the word social. You can cut that out.
Why?
That big gulp. No one wants
I mean,
to
you
hear
could have
that.
filled the sentence as I'm speaking. Anyway, you got anything else? We
Believe
just
me,
move on.
been there, done that. That's Pitbull.
Hmm.
How's your week been?
My week. What was the week like? The week was. What happened? What happened this week?
Well, we're on Tuesday. We recorded this late again because we've had a wee bit of a busy week, and a busy weekend. We've had quite a wholesome weekend doing
Oh, last week was about the memory room.
some stuff for our other business, the Memory Room, which we mentioned on the last podcast. But the Memory Room is officially launched, which we're very excited about. We've been doing a couple of, I wouldn't really call them trials, but we've been doing a couple of like
I called them guinea pigs.
like memory room sessions with friends and family. just to kind of like get our feet for it. Is that the saying? Feet for it?
Yeah, but
Get a feel for it,
I
and then
think we've done over 1,000 podcast recordings for other people. It's the same skill in a sense.
yeah. But I think even from those sessions that we did, we've learned stuff already because we've learned
Yeah.
stuff like from the first one, like, oh, maybe we should have given them more prep questions, or maybe we should this, which is the full reason why we done it, and another reason why we've said it before, like we recommend businesses when they're launching new services or new parts of their business, they offer stuff for free
Mm.
because it allows you to do that, get that test case
Batch.
study out there, and then also it allows you to get good testimonials, which we've already got from people
Yeah,
from
it's
the memory
actually
room already. So we're going to be launching this week with testimonials. What business launches with testimonials? Business.
no, it's a fair point because we could have just went straight in with the launch product and start charging for this service. People have offered to pay for it who used it, but I think I don't know if is integrity the right word.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
integrity, but then it's also the part of
it's like proof of concept. Like I knew the concept was great. I knew I was confident in the skill of the video editing side of things and taking the cameras out. I was confident in the interview style that I've got just from doing previous interviews on the Mindset podcast that I had. So I knew I knew we could create this product. And even if it came down to like me having to interview, I knew we could get into those stories, or if you had to jump in or Fraser had to jump in. But I think there's still something to be said of like people look at you when you do something, you're just like, oh, that's a great idea, that's this, that's that. But ultimately, what proves the concept and makes it bulletproof with a play on words there is doing it and showcasing it.
yeah, and that's like exactly it. Like we've said it before in our testimonial episode, like we can shout from the rooftops how great our business is for Bulletproof Studios or the Memory Room,
You
but
can, but that is
that's what I'm
wanky
saying.
though, isn't it?
But nothing. But I'm going to be a side note on that. Nothing beats someone else saying it. Like someone who we used for, or someone who used the Memory Room at the weekend. There, they posted a couple of things on their stories to say what they were doing,
It's like 70
why they were
followers.
doing it, and like everyone connected with it because it was a new audience we don't have access to, and also they were telling it from their perspective, not as I like go by it. They were just like, I've decided to do this for my grandpa and for my newborn son, and it's been the best experience. Like I'm so happy I've done it, and everybody's like, I want to do that. Like that's so good because he's not selling it;
Well,
he's showcasing his.
he's got his personal brand, and it's like I guess there is something like we've not actually sat down and strategized. This is the next part of the business of like growing the business and getting more leads. So being selective of the people that we offer the services to for free. Also at the start, it's like, right, what's our own network like? So we've got great relationships with a bunch of people and we've reached out to them and also put out there, it's like, is anyone interested in this first of all? Instead of forcing it upon someone, it's like, let's see who's interested. Those who said they were interested, it's like, cool, you happy for us to do this for free? In return, we're looking for feedback. And then the second part of this would be a testimonial for you if you found the service worthy of one.
It's also people who've supported our business in the past
Yeah.
that we're kind of giving a thanks back. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
people that we've done it with have been really big supporters of us. So,
Mhm.
but a side note, when you were saying it's wanky to talk about your own business, I don't think it is.
No,
Do
no,
you
no,
know-
no. I mean, like, I know where you're going with this, and I don't want this to come across this way because I absolutely believe that you need to be your biggest supporter and talk about the things that you do because if you don't, then who does? But there is a way in doing it, like saying I am the best. I find this a very hard balance in that because I've done it before. It's like I am the best coach. It's like, well, no, like there's no that is a very subjective title that you're giving yourself, and then what that then does to your brand and your messaging, you start going after other coaches because you're like, well, look at all what they do. I do it better. I do it this way, and I did do that at the start. I just remember slagging online coaches. Do you remember me doing that? And I was like, online coaches, like, why would you do this? Like, you don't do that. Blah blah blah. Like, okay, there might have been an argument for that post, but at the end of the day, we're on the same mission to help people with their health and fitness. They were helping people with their health and fitness. And it doesn't matter if it was one people, if it was 1,000 people. Me doing that messaging type was, I don't know. Like, I know I just don't think it's the right move for any business or any personal brand. I guess it's a wee bit different for coaches, but I think there's a way of doing it.
Yeah, I think 'cause
You don't speak at them.
Yeah, you need to. It's just you need to talk about yourself, like your business. Like I think it's something you can't shy away from, like talking about your products and services, but in a way that it is not just sell, sell, sell. But when like it's the Justin Bieber example. Like when he brought out his new song, Justin Bieber's like one of the most famous artists in the world, and he posted in 1 week 70 times about his new single. If he needs to do that on social, like you kind of need to post, not
Mm.
you personally. Like,
It's funny, like the musician client that we had, and we were having that content
yeah,
conversation with him. It's like, if Justin Bieber has to do it 70 times,
you
like
need
no
to,
offense, like to like where he's at, because he's got great music. It's like you need to do like let's not be afraid to post twice in the same day,
yeah, or like post like the same thing but
over and over again.
repurposed
Yeah.
like in a different way. Like if he needs to post 70 times, you can post.
Mm.
He has
So
an obviously a bigger team than.
of course, like it's all volume, isn't it? So last episode we were speaking about repurposing content. A follow up to that episode, we want to talk about the content buckets that we use in terms of like a business comes to work with us, and we're looking at the content strategy that we're going to use. Now, there's a deeper part to this puzzle, but I think that's for a future episode. Today, we'll just look at that top level. Having a presence in social media is absolutely important. I wouldn't say it's ultimately necessary to be always posting 6, 7 days a week, but it's a strong strategy, and it's also, to the most part, free to do. So people use paid ads, and they'll put all their content creativity into paid ads. This would work in that area as well. But what we're going to do is run through the different buckets of content categories.
Yeah, well, it's content buckets.
Buckets, yeah, yeah. I've
Buckets of
kind of stole the
buckets.
word that I needed at the start. So different content buckets that we use in terms of strategizing and approach to the social media side of things. Now, social is changing. So if you've not listened to the last episode that we done, repurposing content, we spoke about or a segment of that. Gary V's talking about this a lot just now, who's like one of the marketing goats and has been a very like front of house leader in the social media department, and he's referring to this as interest media. Algorithms are getting more and more uh, um,
Clever.
smarter, cleverer on where that attention is directed to. So they know so much information about us. And you probably notice this, like you hover on a video a little bit longer than some of the other videos, that information is collected, that data is then stored, and then you're fed more of that same content. When you're opening up comments, when you're liking, when you're engaging, like the like and engagement parts and the shares was like the top level basic information. But how long you've watched the video, how many times you've repeated that video, if you scrolled away and then went back to a video,
You've
all this,
shared it
yeah,
like
all
with.
these inputs are collated, and then you're then served an algorithm that is suited towards your interests and your needs. Now that is obviously forever changing, but you'll be served more and more of that content. So getting down into the specifics is probably the top of level thinking behind this. Like we've got a part here where we talk about trends and that, but I don't think the trends is as important as is needed anymore.
Yes, I think like if anyone's starting their social media or kind of like trying to think about how to structure it, this is kind of like how we do it. So when we get a new client on board, or even just with our current clients every month, we'll go through this when we're doing our content shoot. We'll kind of have a chat with them to understand what their main aims are for social media. Like, is it brand awareness? Is it to get more clients in the door? Is it to do a special offer? Whatever it is. And then we'll go away and research kind of these buckets that we're going to go into. So these are kind of like the buckets we came up with, and other people we know in the industry use as well. They kind of like split up your content so that you've got a good range, and it's not just constantly sell, sell, sell. And even when you are doing that sell message, it's done in a clever way, I
Mhm.
suppose. So you are building up a bit of a community on social media.
Yeah, and the thing with this is like you can listen to Gary V, and you can listen to Alex Hormozy, and
And
um,
listen to us,
listen to us. Like obviously we're up there in the same playing field as these guys,
obviously.
but ultimately the message is always changing, and you can always make an argument for both sides. So this whole jab jab hook, like that was such a popular phrase, and this was the whole like don't sell too much on your social media. And then at the other side of things, I think it was what was the My First Million podcast? There's a guy on there, and he's like, "No bullshit." He says like every time I'm on my story, I've got a call to action that is either a soft sale or a hard sale, and it's like it just shows you like the proof of concept can work on both sides of things, but it all comes down to the messaging and finding out what's right for you. And that's what this game of social media is. It's like a trial and testing and just showing up that often that you can then collect your own data and then make your own kind of judgment on, okay, it makes sense to do this type of content and this type of strategy and whatnot. So
I was going to say, so do you want to dive into
how many buckets have we got? 5, 6?
5?
I think it's 5.
5.
Yeah.
So we'll go
5
into each
buckets.
bucket, what the purpose of it is, how you can use it, and some examples.
Hit me with it.
So the first bucket we're going to speak about is educational.
Right, so an example we'll use here is,
What's the job of an educational content piece?
so educational content is anything that is showing your, in a way of like explaining what it is that you do. So for example, the memory room is like, why do we want to tell stories? Why is it important for us to connect these stories, and how's different formats or how you can use the service. The memory room should be an easy one to think about, but another one that we'll probably draw comparisons to is maybe fitness.
Fitness, and I think also marketing, for especially for educational, because educational, the role of it is to teach people
Yeah.
to do certain things. It's not necessarily selling, it's to teach people and to give them information that, one, they may use, but two, also shows your expertise so that then they want to use you, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it builds trust as well to show they actually know what they're talking about.
Mm.
So even our podcast clips that we put on social media, a lot of the stuff, apart from my Pitbull quotes, is educational. Because
That's educational. I didn't know he
Yes.
said half the stuff.
Exactly.
The total of 4 quotes.
I'll get more next week. So it is about showing your education and building trust. So if
Yeah.
you took marketing, for example, we done one that worked pretty well was,
We're doing one right now.
yeah, we're doing one, but I'm just doing like
Oh.
not a podcast one. Like Fraser, when he done the safe zones thing, because we seen a lot of clients who posted stuff on Instagram and their text was off the screen, their overlays were off the screen, and it was just something simple. It's like, if you're posting on Instagram, try and avoid these areas when you're editing your videos. Here's a template. If you need it, go use it. And that was quite simple because it's simple for us to realise, but then we don't. It's simple for us to do, but we don't realise
Yeah.
people don't know how to do that. So that's an educational piece.
Yep. And it's like you said, it's the explanation of the process. Now, where this can, like, I actually find a lot of business owners put this educational piece off, more so in the coaching world. One thing I used to hear was, well, we've already talked about that. Well, we've already, that information's already out there. Remember, your social content is your personal brand. So it doesn't matter how many times the word calorie deficit is being explained. You have your way of explaining it and you have your experience of dealing with it. Showcase that, share that out there with the world, because it's your messaging. And whether it's 2 people, it's 10 people, it's 1,000 people, you've got your traction that you're then building with that. Now, this is why it's important to understand content buckets, because if it's always educational, sometimes it can get a bit fatiguing for your audience. Now, in saying that, you could go with a whole week of educational stuff, a whole month, a whole year. It's really how you're creative with the process of displaying it.
Literally would say it's about your creativity. So I think a lot of times if you just do the same format, so if we done all our educational content in this format of podcast stuff, I don't think it would work as well, because people would be like, oh, it's just another podcast video. But if you do it in different ways, so for example, if we take our aesthetics clinic client, I don't know why I find that really hard to say, aesthetics clinic client as an example, they done a post that was educational, but it was, they wanted to get across the importance of using SPF. So instead of us just setting up a video for them and say, hi, you should use your SPF even in winter because of X, Y, and Z, we got them to each do a wee segment on, if you could tell your, what was it, like your 20-year-old self one skincare regret, what would it be? And each one of them, without us kind of prompting them to say, do SPF, it was all about wear your SPF. And that video kind of like blew up on
Yeah.
TikTok. So then we took that and then done another format of it, which was like a
So
fun
repurposing it. Yeah.
this or that game. So it's like picking products or picking services. And again, it was educational because people were asking questions in the comments, being like, what SPF do you recommend? Is it reversible, like sun damage? Is it this? And then we made videos from that.
Yeah.
So like one idea
Can
and one
yeah.
topic that is educational, you can do it in so many fun different formats.
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
it
sweet to
is
think.
probably we this episode will be like, as I said, top of funnel stuff, very top of mind, like content buckets. But we'll do future episodes on the individual strategies of that, like this or that. Are really good. Anything on educational
I
before
was
we
going to
move
say,
on?
like, because just like examples, like one of the examples we had noted down of an educational piece was how to turn one piece of content, sorry, one topic into 30 pieces of content, and that's exactly what we did with that SPF video for the
Yeah,
aesthetic
but I
client.
think like let's use a business example because this is my gripe with marketing.
What?
We're talking about here's what you do in marketing. Marketing is here's what you do in marketing. Like your
That is a business example, like how to
no,
get
but
your SPF.
like businesses aren't like yeah, that's the aesthetic one. Like
So, from a fitness point of view, what was an educational thing you think you could do? Give me an example.
so like how the best way to go about. So for example, like what do you think of when you think of fitness? Well, I want to become healthier, I want to become stronger, I want to lose weight. Pick one of that as the top of line messages and then digest that down into like 5 different sub messages. So under the category of fat loss, okay, so you've got how do you lose fat? What's the type of food that you do to lose fat? What supplements would you take? What workouts do you do? What food do you consume? And then pick one of those subcategories and then pick the style of content that you're going to do. So this can be like Jill said, a this or that, or look at a creative process on getting that message across. It might be the early stages of this is just a sit down talking video of you talking about the experience or you talking about your expertise on that. But what that will do over time, it'll get you more familiar and confident probably in displaying that message. But just because you've done it once doesn't mean you don't need to do it again. And that's where the follow up episode to this will talk more about that back end piece. And because right now you'll be like, okay, this or that's good. Is there any more? There's maybe like 5 or 6 that we've got that we
Yeah.
use, but there's probably even more. In fact, there's probably endless amounts of ones to
It's
use.
quite funny because we were doing this planning for the podcast. We said we'll do content buckets, and Dale was like, "Should we do an episode per bucket?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't think we need to."
We could actually
So
jump
we
all
could
the
have
way
done a
in.
full episode
Yeah.
just on educational.
Maybe
But
we'll
anyway,
write that down for the
yeah.
next one. Okay, next bucket.
I can't say this word properly. Authoritative.
Authoritative.
Is it titative or
Titties.
authoritative?
Authoritative.
Authoritative.
Authority
Authoritative.
content.
Yeah. So that a lot of this, Dale goes back and forth about what should actually be in this bucket because authoritative is where you are putting yourself as a figure of authority, and how you do that is a lot through testimonials. So you like sometimes to bucket testimonials different in authority, but I feel testimonials fall into your authority content bucket because you've got your client success stories, you've got case studies, you've got this is how we've done it, this is how we took client X to client Y by doing this is how we built our business. This is kind of like the behind the scenes stuff. I think that all falls into authority. So I think testimonials.
The only reason is because as we go through each of these buckets, you'll see where my discrepancy lies. Because in a sense, educational content is authority building content, and that's the heart. I can't switch my mind away from it because I'm like, well, it is the same, but it's also its own category. So authority content again is like the educational piece, but sharing your own story, and that will also come on to like other the other content bucket. What would be? Let's use an example. So the memory room. What would be authority based content on that? I got you.
No, like case studies. So it's like if we got someone like David who used the memory room at the weekend, if we got him in to do a client testimonial to show how easy the setup was, how helpful it was for us to be there, how we couldn't have done it just himself, like on a phone and a microphone or whatever, and then how quickly he got the footage back. Like that would be one thing, a testimonial from him to saying like these guys are great at what they're doing.
So testimonials fit in this category,
Yeah.
you'd say, right?
Oh,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, testimonials is one, but is there anything else that comes under authority based content?
I think it's like almost showing the behind the scenes as authority, and yes, that might go into another content bucket as well, but it's like showing the behind the scenes because
Behind the scenes, yeah, BTS.
it's like me and you showing how we're running our business. Like that is building authority because it's like, oh, these guys are actually like building it from the bottom
Here's
up.
the 10 hours
like,
of work that went into the research before we met.
before we do this.
Like we got Maple Clinic in tomorrow.
Yeah, so like
So it's
this
like-
is all the research we do before we meet a client. This is what we do, behind the scenes stuff, kind of like bringing people along on the journey. Even like failure stories, so stuff like we've tried this, didn't work. So like we've tried this and it failed, so you don't have to. That kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Like that is building your authority. So it's telling the story
See what I mean?
a lot. But I
No,
think
but do
is
you
like,
understand like
yeah,
why I
yeah,
think this is very hard to label this as a bucket because it almost bleeds into all the other areas.
it does. But I think you've got your separate bucket as well. I still think you need to like if you're planning out your content, which we'll go into shortly. Like if you're planning out a content calendar, and what I like to do is color code it.
You
That's
do.
why I got the color from. I like to color code things. So like so that when we look at our content calendar for review, I can see, right, we've got 5 red posts, 3 silver. I've never used silver as a colour in a code in my life. 4 blue, green, whatever. I can see clearly.
Pretty.
I know, I can, but I
Pretty
can.
colours.
That's all Dale sees, but when I look at it, I can clearly see
Mm,
we've got a good mix of content there. So I
yeah.
can see that we've got testimonials, we've got education, we've got the other
Yeah.
buckets.
I think like this is probably one of the categories that you could just solely do on your social media, and it'll like his testimonials are great. Like you, every post being a different person that's used your service will most likely drive more business to your business, if that makes sense, regardless of the category.
And I think this category authority almost feels it's like building sales without being salesy.
Yeah.
Because if you're shown this is how the client done this, they're like, oh, I want to do that.
Mm.
Like, I want to be able to do that. This is how we've done this. I want to be doing that. It's not salesy. We don't tend to put a lot of call to actions on our testimonial stuff. I think we just leave it to do its own thing. But some people might be different. Like, so when
I think it's probably right to have a call to action of some sort. It's like whether it's to a lead magnet or whether it's to, this is what I mean. There's deeper levels to like strategies on, right, okay, is it direct to sale to inquiry, or is it direct to, you know what, I know you might be interested in this, you might not fully trust us yet, but here's another piece of content that we think you could use that's going to add value to you. Again, take the fat loss example. Someone sees a testimonial, someone lost a ton of weight, they're explaining their how it was happened through the education or authority based content, and like, here, I'm interested in that. But then that points them to, okay, here's our 5 best pieces of or our 5 tips that we've extracted from this person's journey. If you want it for free, download this guide. And again, it's that other level of trust. So top of line, remember, everything that you're doing with the content you create is just to build a bit more personality and trust behind the business that you're running.
Okay, so the next one we're going to go into is storytelling, and I feel storytelling is actually the one that bleeds into all of them rather than authority bleeding into all of them. Because if you don't know how to, or if you can't storytell properly, I think all your other buckets fail. Like, so we had storyteller Chris on the podcast, which will come out on Friday if you're listening to this on Wednesday. And all his posts, if you look at them, they're storytelling. Even if he's telling a client testimonial, even if he's doing an educational piece, they're all got a storytelling vibe to them. But basically, storytelling is having that connection with your audience, having that kind of like
Put
telling
yourself
your
in their
brand,
shoes.
telling your
It's-
brand story, but just not making it so corporate, I guess.
Yeah, well, here's examples, and it happens all the time, and it's a big bugbear of mine. Always found that a bugbear in the coaching world as well. This is why you're not losing fat versus here's how you might be struggling with your fat loss. Like the messaging's the same, like the core principles within the message, but there's a different feel for those 2 sentences. The first one that I mentioned, it ends up going into like, you're this, and it's the call out behavior and pointing at all these things out. Whereas the other one's like, right, okay, from my experience, I've trained over 100 different people who are losing fat loss. Here's some of the common mistakes that they trip up on, and here's how to overcome them. You're buying into their like, I hate like empathy is almost like frowned upon, but you need to be empathetic. There has to be a level of emotion that you connect with, because we're human beings at the end of the day. If I sit down with someone, I've never met them before, and they've came up my social feed and they go, are you in marketing? Well, here's why you're shit at marketing. It's like, all right, mister, I don't know who you are. I'm not gonna listen to them.
That's
All
what
right,
I'm talking about. Remember, like cold outreach. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna start messaging people saying
Yeah.
you're social shit. I can help you.
or it's the PT one. It's
Yeah,
like you're
like,
sliding
you
into
look
DMs.
like
Here, you look like you should be working out, but I can tell that you're not working out. Here, I can help you, fatty. Let me sign you up to my 12-week program.
But I think there's definitely like if you focus on coaches, there's definitely 2 types of like coaches who do that, saying this is why you're not losing weight, or like people go more direct with it. And I think they're
Call out culture. I believe call out culture was already dead, and if it's not dead, it's still dying. I think your water's leaking.
it's not Stanley secure. Um, I don't know though, because I think there might be bucket of people who still might resonate with it, but I think the bucket of people that resonate with that maybe aren't.
Loving the word bucket today.
I love a bucket. So my favourite words just now are bucket, season, and chapter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I will go into that later.
Right, okay.
But but I think there is a bucket of people who that does resonate with, but I don't know if it's they
It-
lack confidence or something like that because they think
maybe
like,
do.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah,
piece
yeah.
of shit. I do need you as a client to shout at me.
When I was on Tommy and Tony's podcast, and Tommy was like, I needed Gio in my ear to tell me I was a piece of shit if I didn't finish this. But at the end of the day, he never fully completed it. So like that self-negative talk, I think it can spark an interest, it can spark an emotion in someone that will make them change, but it never lasts. The negative self-talk never, ever lasts. It's the whole pessimistic behaviour, the whole glass half empty. What's the word that's used? I'm not pessimistic.
Realist.
No,
That is the phrase.
no. There's another phrase. I was going to say sabbatical, sabotage. Oh, what's the word?
Sabbaticals when you go for
No, I know, but it's like that's just how I am. It's like that's annoying me.
10 hours later.
Maybe it'll come back to me. But that type of behaviour is not a nice person to be around, and it's not a nice energy to stay in the state of.
Draining.
Yeah, it's like the whole tear everyone else's building down to make your building the tallest. It makes no sense whatsoever. Build your own freaking tower.
Do you know what makes me so happy? Because I was the one that came to you with that analogy. So the analogy is like,
It was a Gary Vee podcast.
yeah,
I think,
but
wasn't
like
it?
I came to you with that, and you've used it so many times. It makes
Yeah, I
me a
used it
wee bit
on
proud.
that the 30 lessons at 30 podcast.
So like the analogy is like if you want to build the biggest skyscraper in the world,
There's 2 ways to go about it.
it's my analogy.
It's not
There's
Gary
2 ways
Vee's.
to go about it. You can either work your butt off and build the tallest one, or you can tear everybody else's down and yours might not.
Cynical. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry. Definitely a level of autism in here that I had to like spout that word out.
And yours might not be the tallest like that there ever has been, but you've torn everybody else's down, so it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
look big, even though you're not big, man.
Yeah. But it's that cynical character that will probably get more of a kick out of the directiveness. But I truly don't believe. I think, especially with so many people being able to create content. What was it the other day? Like 1 billion posts are put out on TikTok and Instagram on a monthly basis. Like you're competing against so much when it comes to attention.
And you're scared to post.
Yeah, and you're scared to post about the fear of being judged. But putting that to one side, people will connect more with you explaining or you telling the story. And that's why stories are more important. And yes, they bleed over to every single one of these buckets, but storytelling and connecting to the story of like what is the connecting message. And regardless of the business, like coaching is a very an emotional thing. The memory room is a very emotional thing. I'm trying to think of a business
I was
where
going to say that like I feel like the memory room is a great opportunity for us to work on our storytelling, like to work on our storytelling skill and showcase how storytelling works. Is every single post we've put out so far has not been, "Hi, come to the memory room. We do this, we do that." We've like told the story of why we're doing it, what people can use it for. Like when me and you have done our own little memory room recordings, like we've not just said, oh, today we done this. Like, for example, we done one at the weekend where we put up our Christmas tree and we realised it was going to be our last Christmas, just the 2 of us before the baby's here. So like we made like a wee post about how we used that as the memory room, and instead of just saying we used this, we done that at the weekend, we were like, it started off like telling a story of this is our last Christmas, just the 2 of us. Like we spent time together going over the memories, going over this, and then people are engaged. Like people were like, "Oh, that's so emotional." At the end, hook them in, being like, "This is why we done the memory room."
Client that we've got for fireplaces. It's like, okay, are we getting the story across in there? And we're leaning into, okay, what do people connect with? Well, it's the look and the feel of their living room. It seems ridiculous, but it freaking works. You okay? What is it? Itchy belly.
Okay, cut that out.
Why?
I don't want that in.
No, we're not cutting it out. This is a raw podcast. Tough is staying in, guys. Joe's got itchiness going on.
We stop.
And if you're just listening, it's our butt crack.
Dale.
No, it's our bump. It's our bump. Itchy bump.
Because people think that sounds like bum.
So no, bump. The baby.
Pregnancy bump.
Pregnancy bump is itchy. Anyway, another one I'll use just because I know that we're going to be doing a testimonial for it as well, is Kat's business, cleaning business. Now, again, you might think, okay, like, how can I story tell in the cleaning world? Well, one of the biggest pain points for people to use a cleaner is they don't have the time to clean their house, and it feels like how you get so freaking irritated when our house isn't clean as well.
No
So,
wonder.
I
No
know,
wonder.
but the feeling like coming into that new smell, like that's how you're connecting to that, and you can do that through the testimonial stuff, authority building, and then the educational piece can be like, here's 3 quick, easy tips on how to clean your house, and
Yeah, or so, like you
yeah,
do the
so many different ways on that.
like if Kat's listen, hopefully she'll get her content
Sure.
ideas from this. But like, she could do this or that on cleaning
Yeah.
products because that builds her
I think she's done that
authority.
the other way. Our 5 favourite products.
Like
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. The storytelling aspect. Once we have a baby and we have a cleaner in the house, my storytelling aspect from that angle would be, I've hired a cleaner so that I don't need to worry about having to clean my house while looking after my baby. I can spend more time with my baby rather than cleaning my house.
Exactly. Nothing more emotional than that.
There you go.
So yeah, like storytelling is there is a story in everything that we do. And fortunate enough to launch the memory room, and it's just reiterated that no matter the experience, no matter what the story is, how ridiculous or how less important it seems it's a story and it's an experience that not only you've experienced, but most likely someone else has in your audience, and you can connect with them by sharing it.
Agreed.
Mic drop.
Content bucket 4. I cannot get that word out. Content bucket 4 is series.
Series. I like this one because it's again, these are all mixtures of each other.
Yeah, they all
I
blend
really
in, but
struggle with
they've got-
this.
But a series is like a series, like you watch on Netflix. It's
Podcasting.
something, yeah, it's something that people come back to because if you're like, this is how I build my business, part 1, and they're like, they've watched part 1, and they're like,
Okay, this
I
part
need
2.
part 2. When's that coming out? Like, I need part 3. I need part 4. Whatever it is. Like, there's somebody I follow on TikTok. See that Jilly Isabella?
Mhm.
Like, I like her stuff because she's just like a wee bit crazy. So she's done her 12 days of Vlogmas, which a lot of like influencers are doing. But she's tried to do it different by getting her husband to do her voiceover, which is really funny
Series, yeah.
because he just doesn't know what she's doing and what she's doing in life. But then she's like, come back for part 2 and he'll do that. And I'm like, I need part 2. I need to see
Let's
how
see it,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
narrating her life.
So Ashton Hall's the extreme example of them. You know who Ashton Hall is? I think he has the top 5 most
The
viewed videos. He's the one that
Strongest
does.
man.
No. I'm the strongest man. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's Eddie Hall, isn't it? I thought maybe it was his
no,
brother.
Ashton Hall is the morning routine guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he blew up. I think he's almost at 20 million followers, and it's just because of the morning routine. He just done these short snippets of a morning routine.
It's also
Now,
a very unrealistic morning routine. I think that's why, because he got a lot of hate, but
Yeah.
that worked
Now-
to like build it.
this doesn't necessarily fall into the series category, but there's that he's reiterated on a viral video and doubled down on a variation of that and just showed the same morning routine, but just showed different variations of it. This almost falls into that category, but doesn't at the same time. But it gives you an idea that series and these kind of reiterations of the same content, like it's a powerful way to connect with your audience.
The series just now that we are stuck on every single week because our algorithm has changed slightly to be about pregnancy and baby.
It's week.
So we're on
27,
week 28. And it's really weird that our algorithm knows what week pregnancy that I'm on. Like
It
that
just
still
serves you the
amazes
video.
me.
It's like it's the same video, it's the
But
same
it's the
women,
same-
same
yeah.
voiceover.
So every week it comes up saying week 28 of your pregnancy or whatever week it is.
Do the wee
Yeah,
song and
wee song.
everything.
This is what your baby is doing. This is what you can feel like. So it's like a wee like 2-minute video. And every time, like when I'm on TikTok, it'll come up and I won't watch it. I'll send it to Dale because we like to watch it together.
And then when I'm just about to fall asleep, Jill goes, "Open up your TikTok. We've got that video to watch."
Yeah, but it's our wee video and it's a wee thing we watch together. But like every week, like because it's my week of
Whatever it
pregnancy
is, yeah.
starts on a Saturday, and it serves me on a Saturday. It knows it's there,
Mhm.
and every week like that's a
And
series.
again, this is the power of the algorithm. It
I was gonna say,
finds
it's
a way
training the algorithm.
to get to your audience. This is why it's not just a social shoot in the dark anymore. It becomes interest media. So if you're interested in something, yeah, what?
Social shoot in the dark.
Did I say that
Yeah.
there? No way.
Yeah, social
My
shoot.
cat was just slang when she just said that. Can you say social yet?
Shoot. No, you can't. Social shoot.
Developing a lisp. Anyway, I don't think there's much more to cover on series. I think it's another way of kind of making your content a wee bit more inspiring. Everyone does a day in the life. This is an example of that. It seems like people are, you will say it, people are so nosy
Yeah, they want to know.
and they just want to know. And I think it's just there's a way where everyone almost has their own business these days. And I think it's made the consumer or the customer a little bit skeptic of, can this person really deliver on the service that they're saying that I potentially want to buy? And behind the scenes is just a little look into that. It's like, oh, okay, they're showing me they're working with people. They're showing me, oh, right, you know what? I can actually trust them a little bit more.
It's a good way to try and, like, I guess, challenge yourself to be consistent with your content as well. Because if you're setting yourself a series, so you're going to do a 10-part series, it's a good way to, like, right, that's 10 videos that I know will get done, put them out every week. That's
Mm.
one a week. Obviously, you've got your other content that'll, like, support that as well. But, like, it's a good way to just make sure you're a wee bit more consistent
Yeah.
with it.
Okay, next one.
Your final bucket is entertainment.
So I actually don't think this is as strong or as there's the need for this bucket as much anymore. But I think it
like
depends on the buzz. I think it depends on the business and the brand and the personality that you want to get across. Some people be more for this than others. I enjoy the creative part of videos. I like the wee skits and everything. I don't. I think every business almost relied on a skit, and I think this is the downfall of like this, like the marketing person, like all our like, you know, those videos. It's like, oh no, the marketing person's in the office today, and it's like everyone's dreading it, and you're getting people to do funny dances and doing viral trends. The reason that was a strategy before is because it could get out to a wider audience, and then those wider audience would see the cafe, the car dealership or whatever it is, and then be converted into a customer. But with the algorithm, I think it's getting better and better. If you're focusing on the authority building and the educational and the testimonial, that will get to those people anyway. However,
I like personally like entertainment because I feel like for us when we do it, it's shown a different side. Like I think it's different with us because like we're a husband and wife business, and when we're on the podcast, like you'll see it, we'll do stupid stuff, we'll bicker, we'll like laugh, whatever. So you're getting to see our personality. But even if we didn't have the podcast, like I like the entertainment part because it shows we're not so serious. We're not like a corporate company. We're not like we're just not so official. Like
mm,
we're fun, we're silly, like we're fun. um,
we're cool. We're
that's
the
what
cool
it's like.
kids.
But like we like to do stupid stuff like that. So even like when we done that video of me doing the spin kick and then writing on the wall, like that was just a stupid video.
But
But
the
then
outtakes got more views than the actual video,
yeah, that's
which is
literally
proof
what I
of
was about to
concept.
say.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like then we've posted outtakes because apparently I don't know how to do a spin kick. But then on the other side of that, someone said to us a couple of weeks ago, "Oh, I seen your video. How do you manage to write with your foot?" They didn't understand it was a skit. They were a wee bit older,
Yeah, and I
but
think like
like
we're obviously we're in the world of marketing, so we'll see trends and all that, and we see it being done to death. But don't let that stop you from jumping on it. If it's something you're like, oh, that's quite funny, I want to do it, like my own iteration of that.
I would just say make it like don't feel you need to do every skit or everything.
I
Don't
would say about
force yourself into it.
5 to 10% of your content should be this.
Yeah, like don't force yourself to do something just because it's a trend.
Yeah.
Like make sure it fits
The
your
thing that
brand and
stands
your
out for me
person.
is Hermosi talking about the story of he wanted to go broader, and he went broader and started doing some gym content, and then started doing what he eats in a day and all that sort of stuff. And he managed to get more views on some of the videos, but then people were saying, "Oh, I used to watch your content all the time, but I stopped watching because your content's not really for me." And he's like, "Well, you're a business owner that's
That's what it should
making
be.
millions. Like, what do you mean? Like, my content is for you." So I think it's a very delicate subject. I think if you are building this audience and building this brand on being authoritative and being, I wouldn't even say serious, just being like, here, look, I'm giving back. I don't know if the memory room will have entertainment side of things in it as much. I think there's a place for it, but where I see the entertainment police would be walking down the street and
I was
walking
gonna
up to an
say.
older person and just saying, like, and this is what I want to do this week, is putting the meta glasses on and just saying, I don't know how I'm going to open this, but along the lines of, do you mind, like, if I ask you a question about what's your favourite experience at Christmas,
Mhm.
and for them just to tell their story, and then that being a piece of content we put on there, that kind of falls into that category, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it's also authority. It's also
It's
like
also storytelling. So it's definitely these.
mix and match.
I think they should bleed into each other because you don't want something really random going out in your storytelling bucket and then it looks completely different to what your education looks like. And that's probably another video about how to bring another podcast, how to bring all these together through your branding, your fonts, your styles, that kind of thing. Which will be another video we can do is like how to bring it all together and make it easier.
Yep.
for that. But that is my 5 main content buckets. That is, I'm gonna do a you, and I don't know if you're gonna shout at me or like not shout at me, but I'm gonna do a you. So I feel someone
Stop
listened
making
to
me out
that.
as if I'm shouting at you and beat
No,
you up
not
and stuff.
not shout at me, but like because we've got a lot to do today, and this podcast goes out tomorrow. But I feel that was a lot we went through, and if someone's just listened to that in the car or something like that, they might have not taken it through. So if you comment content buckets,
No comment. Link below.
yeah, but if they're watching on Instagram, they won't watch on Instagram. Baby brain, if you
Watching this
click
40-minute podcast on TikTok, comment below and we'll message you back.
so click the link below and you can download our content bucket guide, which will have all the content buckets and a couple of examples how to use them, which means in the next, by 6 a.m, it's currently 12 p.m. on Tuesday, by 6 a.m. Wednesday, we need to create that document.
You
and
need to
set
create, because
up.
I'm building the memory room website today
I've got a lot to do as well.
and we got a midwife appointment.
So, do you know what I mean about doing a you? Like Dale used to do this on his podcast all the time. He'd do his podcast, and this is when I'd done a lot of his marketing for him. Like he'd do his podcast and he'd come out and be like, "Yeah, I've just said
Yeah, I need a lead magnet
I
for
need
tomorrow.
a landing page and I need this," and I was like, "Great."
Which was another mad side part to this. I'm not saying who, but we had clients that and then started doing this as well. And it's like, you do not know other marketing agency will turn a lead magnet around within 10 hours.
We used to have that. And we'd be working out up till 2 a.m.
I
and
know,
we
just to get a lead magnet
but
out.
we didn't like they just expected
Yeah.
they didn't get paid anymore.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a fun episode for a fun time
Yeah.
about
Anyway,
clients.
wrap things up there. Well, actually, last piece of this would be right. Okay, how often should you be posting? This is dependent to you. What can you keep up with? The number is irrelevant. It's just to hold you accountable. Remember that. So pick something that seems manageable to start with, and that's honestly like spread your content into each one of these buckets. I wouldn't go too heavy on the trends. I don't think that's the best advice I can give. Is people end up trying to build a follower brand than an actual business brand or a personal brand, and they are very different. So for a follower brand would be right, anything that's going viral, anything that's on trend, that builds up an audience because it's like, okay, like we're following this person because they're funny, and then it's like you start talking about your authority and your educational and your testimonial, you lose that audience straight away. There'll be maybe a small percentage who would end up converting, but the influencer world is dead because of that. Like I think it dies out. I think there's a way to pivot it and make it make sense. Like if you are building your influencer on a particular topic or what's the word? I'm trying to think of why do you follow that Jelly Isabella?
Just because she's funny.
Yeah, so you like her personality.
Yeah.
But then she comes out with, this is an example, like you follow that and it's like, okay, big following. And then she releases a product or a fashion line or
She's got a
whatever.
fashion
Yeah, that's what I
line.
mean. Have you bought anything?
No, 'cause it's a bit pricey.
Right. So it's not hit you, but you still,
Yeah.
you're a follower of her. But she'll have followers that has been built from some of that entertainment content or some of the trend-based content that will speak to that.
I think the reason actually I've not bought this stuff because it's all going out and I don't go out anymore. I'm too old for that. I'm not even too old. I was too old at 20 to go out. I'm kidding. I went out at 20. But
Yeah, so like I would say like because we're speaking to businesses, like influencer game is different to the business game, and it's why we separated them. Now, is there a different way to go down the influencer route? Absolutely, but I have ideas on it, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it. I could definitely go into a conversation and brainstorm, but where our I was going to say where our hearts lie, but where our expertise lie is with the business side of things because we are growing our business. We've grown our business before and we're growing a brand new business. So we're sort of in the boots on ground, kind of doing it along with you guys and as well. So,
and I think what we'll do in that document you can sign up for, what we'll add in as well is just like an example of a month's content. Like if you're planning this out, like an easy, medium, hard version. Not hard, but like if you were wanting just top line to keep you going, if you want to be a bit more in depth, and if you want a hard version, we'll add that in.
yeah.
It's going to be a busy afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hope people download it.
Anyway,
We'll do this and one person will do it.
It doesn't matter because it's all about them marketing this podcast episode. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to check us out on Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you can find us at Bulletproof Studios __. We're on YouTube as well. If you're listening on Spotify, one of the best ways you can support us is by leaving a 5-star rating and leaving a little like and comment below this video.
And then, as a side note, if you like what you've heard so far about the memory room, because we spoke about that, give our memory room page on Instagram a follow.
Yeah, because today's episode is sponsored by the Memory Room.
I was talking to someone about how if you've got multiple businesses, you can sponsor your podcast through that business. And
You
they're
do
like,
not,
is that not tax evasion? I'm like, no, that's not tax
No,
evasion.
the Memory Room's going to be a separate business,
yeah,
and Bulletproof Studios will bill the Memory Room for the marketing piece. You
Yeah.
do know that?
yeah, because it's two different
Yeah, and
businesses.
that'll be a write-off.
It's not
and then
tax evasion. Hope HMRC
it's
doesn't
tax
listen.
strategy. Anyway, see you guys next week.
Bye.